Hello everyone, my name is AZZATRU, how are you, and welcome to another Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order video of mine. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing my impressions of what I played of Fallen Order a few days ago at EA Play, and what I saw in the extended gameplay demo, plus some news on other things relating to Jedi Fallen Order, including a prequel comic, which is coming out in September. So let's just get started with my impressions of what I thought about the game, what I saw basically. So I got to play the game for about 5 minutes, and then saw a 30-minute extended version of the public gameplay reveal. Basically 16 minutes or so of gameplay before where the version you have seen on YouTube starts. And this was also shown to the public at EA Play, you just couldn't film it. This entire gameplay demo, we just got to see it behind closed doors before getting our hands on it. And I'll move on to talking about how I felt about playing the game, and then go into details of what was shown in terms of gameplay mechanics and sequences. So we played a non-story area called the Gauntlet. This was a grey box area with different waves of enemies to learn how to use the combat and just take out enemies however we like. They did not confirm if this would be in the game or if it was just for us to learn how to play for the first time in the behind the closed doors demo. I suspect it's called the Gauntlet after Titanfall 2's incredible test area, so fingers crossed they do have this in the game when it does release in November. So in the Gauntlet, you face stormtroopers, troopers with staffs, and purge troopers, and a lot of people were saying how easy the game looked in the reveal trailer, and I was one of those. But we all agreed after playing the Gauntlet, it was such a challenge. There were so many buttons to press that did different things. You had to time the deflection button and blaster fire to deflect. It was not automatic like Battlefront 2. Also, you had to parry attacks in time to stop taking damage. I died by the Purge Trooper twice before defeating it. I think the reason why I died was because I kept forgetting the controls and the force meter. At the bottom of the screen there's like a blue bar, and each time you use the force, it uses up part of the blue bar. When it's used up, you can't use force powers whatsoever, and you only regain force use by defeating an enemy, so you have to use it smartly. They did tell us that the version we all saw played on the livestream was not the hardest difficulty either. As for animations, I think it made the combat look so much better and interesting, but I felt like I was doing a lot of repetition towards the end of the Gauntlet. And the skill tree may allow for more combat differences, however, but we just don't know how that will play out. However, despite playing on a massive TV with some input lag, the controls overall were very responsive despite that input lag from the TV, and the performance seemed to be very stable or even locked at 60 frames per second. Respawn are known for their great performance and silky smooth controls over better graphics, and it's a worthwhile trade-off as seen in Titanfall and Titanfall 2. I love those games because they have fantastic controls, it's a fantastic shooter because just how good it is. You can see that in the earlier Call of Duty games. A lot of the Respawn team and design philosophy worked on the very first few Call of Duties, including the fan favourite COD 4 and Modern Warfare 2, and it had that ultra smooth 60 frames per second and the incredible controls. And that translates into this game, I think. I wish I could share more on the combat, but it was quite overwhelming playing it for the first time and only having a few minutes to play and get to grips with it. Generally, I am very impressed with it. Getting a kill is super satisfying, and the force powers and lightsaber attacks are so fun. Some of the highlights of the gameplay pieces we saw in the extended demo include sneaking into AT-AT, like you do some parkour, you swim through the water, do the parkour, and then get into the AT-AT. It looks so cool on the inside. And you use it against the Empire, so you pilot it with BD-1, your droid, and you take out AT-STs. It's similar to it's like on the rails, I think. I wasn't sure though if you could control it, but it was similar to what we've seen in Battlefront 2. I'm just not sure if it was on the rails and you could actually move forward, but time will tell if that is what it's like. The Wookiees or Rebellion fighters were also using LAATs to fight back against the Empire, which is really cool to see. To see LAATs flying around against AT-ATs is just so cool and won't get old. Also, BD-1 is so awesome. He has many more features, such as being able to be used as a zipline. So if you have like a zipline section, you can use BD-1 as like a hanger, which is good and ingenious, I think. It's really interesting to use a droid, especially a small droid, but, you know, hopefully he has less gimmicky mechanics and more stuff that could be even more useful instead of just opening doors. Stuff like the zipline would be more really welcomed by myself. The ship you travel around in is called the Mantis, and you can go inside it and use different functions, like a holomap. So, after a sequence in clearing the area of stormtroopers, Ceres and Grease pilot the Mantis and land it where you are. When it's landed, you can literally go inside it seamlessly, and Cal can use the holomap to select which planet you want to go to. You can go back and forth between planets. It's very fluid. It's not specifically linear, where you can't go back to planets that you have visited previously. There could possibly be more things inside the Mantis that you can use, but they did not tell us or show us any more. But it was quite a big space, and I'm really glad that you actually have something that you can go in. It will essentially be the hub of the game. Stig, the game director, also said to IGN that the ship will act as a hider of loading screens. So instead of traditional static loading screens, you'll be able to use the ship to fly to another planet, and it's apparently very seamless, so I'm excited to see that in action. There is also dialogue options, which is a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. We don't know if these will have any impact on the story or gameplay, as it is a canon story, but it is there, and there was 2 options on screen to say 2 different things, but there were also space for 2 more on the D-pad's UI pop-up, but that was all that was shown and explained. I think it was only demonstrated once in the entire demo, so it doesn't seem like it's going to be a regular occurrence. As for graphics, it looked fine. It was nothing consistent like Battlefront 2's incredible look, but things looked decent at times. We were watching on a 1080p display. It was a massive TV, so that didn't really help. I think the water at the start of the demo looked off, especially when you was moving through it. But for the most part, the game looks fine. Nothing breathtaking, but still good enough. It's got that really nice photorealistic style I like from Battlefront 2. I just don't know how well it's translated into Unreal Engine 4. Obviously, Frostbite is built for that, but at the same time, I think they've done a good job. I also think there is some chromatic aberration going on, and this makes it look less sharp, a little bit more distorted. I really don't like that at all. I turned it off on every single game I've ever played that has it. I really hope we can toggle it off in this game if it is on, because it makes Battlefront 2 look really ugly. And yeah, I just felt like I could see it a little bit. I can't really tell in the gameplay demo, but it seems like it might be there just a little bit. But now let's move on to some news, because there has been quite a lot in the past few days. We had a brand new trailer at the Xbox E3 press conference, and it was pretty awesome. Showed us a bunch of new cinematics. And as you saw in the gameplay demo, Saw Gerrera is going to be in the game, and he is played by Forrest Whitaker. He's reprising his role from Rogue One as Saw in the game, which is really good to hear. They also confirmed what we would be getting in the deluxe version and the pre-order bonuses. We only had vague descriptions of cosmetics, but we finally have a new box art for the deluxe edition, as well as the main game, the standard version of the game, and what's actually included with the pre-order bonuses and the deluxe version. So if you pre-order, you get the orange lightsaber blade colour, the Maigito campaign hilt, the Umbaran campaign hilt, and the D1 skin, which is basically a yellow skin, which looks pretty cool. And to be honest, those hilts look awesome. Whether we'll see Maigito or Umbara in the game, it remains to be seen. We just don't know at this moment in time. But I think they wouldn't call it that unless there was a good reason to. And it seems like we're going to be able to change the lightsaber colour, which is pretty cool. That orange awesome colour is really nice, and you get that if you pre-order the game. As for the deluxe edition, you get all of the pre-order bonuses plus a Crimson BD1 skin, a Crimson Mantis skin, and a digital art book, as well as the director's cut behind the scene videos. We already knew we'd be getting those last 2, but we just didn't know what these exclusive skins would be, but they're included with the deluxe edition, and the box art is different. It's basically just Cal and the lightsaber. It looks cool, so similar to the deluxe Trooper edition that we got for Battlefront 2. And last but not least, let's talk about the upcoming comic for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. So it's going to be a prequel to Fallen Order, and it comes out in September. Well, the first issue does. It's a 5-issue Marvel mini comic series, and it's called Dark Temple, and it's written by Matthew Rosenberg. So the tale follows Jedi Master Eno Cordova and his impulsive Padawan Seri Junda. This is the same character we've seen in promo footage for the game. The Jedi Council sends the pair onto a remote planet called Ontivo, and it's to see an evacuation of the mysterious temple. Dueling forces of local resistance and ruthless security troops clash in a war for the fate of the planet, and the Jedi are caught in the middle. On the website, it says Junda and Eno are a pair of Jedi that fans will definitely be going to want to know more about, and this comic will tell you part of their story you won't get anywhere else. We'll also get a chance to see new planets, villains, and some good old lightsaber action. Dark Temple is being developed in collaboration with Respawn and Lucasfilm, and issue 1 kicks off in September with the run-up to the November 15th release date for the game. So that is all of the Jedi Fallen Order news from me, as well as the impressions of what I played at EA Play a few days ago. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you did, be sure to drop a like and comment below your thoughts on what you heard and saw about Jedi Fallen Order. If there's any more news, I'll keep you guys updated, so please do hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on so you don't miss anything Jedi Fallen Order related. Check out any of the 2 previous videos on screen if you did miss them, and I shall see you all in my next Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order video. Goodbye.